To understand today, you have to know about yesterday. A key moment in the history of black people in the United Kingdom can be traced back to one year, 1981, and one street, New Cross Road, London. On the 18th of January, a fire tore through number 439 New Cross Road, where Yvonne Ruddock and Angela Jackson were celebrating their birthdays. It killed 13 young people. Many more were injured, and one more person died 2 years later. The case wasn't solved then. It still isn't now. The level of racist attacks in the community led to suspicion about who was responsible. That suspicion, hurt, and anger went ignored by most politicians and the media, and the police were accused of mishandling the investigation. The New Cross Massacre Action Committee was formed and led to the organisation of a march and protest. So on the 2nd of March 1981, thousands of black people from across the country came to the streets of London. A day known as the Black People's Day of Action. But those voices went unheard. The New Cross fire became a symbol of the suffering and neglect that many black people felt. Soon, a wave of resistance would spread across the nation. In April 1981, the police launched the controversial Operation Swamp that appeared to deliberately echo Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's comment that British people might be afraid of being swamped by people of a different culture. Within a matter of days, hundreds of people were stopped and searched. Many were arrested. The community were upset and suspicious of the way the police were handling the operation. And by the 10th of April, they'd had enough and fought back. There were street battles between the protesters and the police. Vehicles and buildings were set on fire. For 3 days, Brixton burned as the community protested against their treatment at the hands of the police and the government. Their voices were heard across the country. In the mostly black neighbourhood of Toxteth, Liverpool, people were facing mass unemployment, poverty, and intensive policing. The arrest of Leroy Alphonse Cooper on the 3rd of July provoked an angry crowd of witnesses, and 9 days of unrest began. Over 500 people were arrested, 468 police injured, and for the first time in the UK, police used CS gas on the crowds. On the 8th of July, tensions in Moss Side, Manchester had reached breaking point. Black male youth unemployment rates had soared to 80%, and the use of stop and search strained the relationship between the public and the police. The powder keg that had been building exploded with 1,000 young people sieging on Moss Side Police Station. Unrest continued for 2 days, with the previously unheard finding a voice in the only language that it seemed would be listened to. By 1981, policing in Handsworth, Birmingham was so intense that 40% of black youth had been stopped and searched in the previous year. With tensions at boiling point, the rumour of a National Front march in the area caused outrage. On the 10th of July, 2 nights of insurrection left a mark that could no longer be ignored. Across Britain, more protests began in 30 cities, including Portsmouth, Stoke, Nottingham, Sheffield, Chapeltown, Leeds, and Newcastle. These events of 1981 are a key part of our national history, events that should be known about and remembered by all of us. A past that should never be forgotten.